In order to understand warfare prayer, we must first understand a few things. First, we are born into the conflict between good and evil. Second, the conflict is a spiritual conflict, although it manifests itself in the physical realm. And third, we have an important role to play in this war. Therefore, warfare prayer is confronting the devil with the authority of Jesus. The root of this conflict is rebellion. You see, in the beginning of the world, God created angels. Angels are spiritual beings whose job is to serve God. There was one particular angel, an archangel, which means he was higher than the other angels. He might have even been heaven's worship leader. But archangel status wasn't enough for him. His heart longed for more. He didn't want to worship, he wanted to be worshipped. Didn't want to serve, wanted to be served. So the archangel turned against God and he started a rebellion. About 1/3 of the heavenly host joined him, which equates to hundreds of thousands or even millions of angels. Thus began the war. The book of Revelation says, "And there was a war in heaven. Michael and his angels fought against the dragon, and the dragon and his angels fought back. But he was not strong enough, and they lost their place in heaven. The great dragon was hurled down, that ancient serpent called the devil or Satan." Alright, so there was a big war in heaven, and it was a long time ago. What does this have to do with us? Everything. Because after the devil lost his place in heaven, he was hurled to the earth. He was sent to the world of men, to our rolling hills and steeping mountains, our quiet brooks and dense forests. He came to our cities and farms, our families and our marriages. Satan invaded humanity. But he didn't come alone. He brought his evil hordes with him. He needs their help. You see, Satan is only one creature. He's only one being, can only be in one place at one time. His powers only run so deep. His knowledge is limited. God is more than Satan can manage alone. So what started as a rebellious trickle in his heart became a full-fledged war in our world. John Eldredge writes, "He has you in his crosshairs, and he isn't smiling." We are, after all, made in God's image. We are, after all, God's beloved. We are, after all, called to live with God forever. But this doesn't mean we will. The reason the archangel rebelled was because he could. God created him to make his own choices, and Satan chose to reject God. God gives us the same opportunity. He lets us decide which way to go. Will we fulfill our God-given destiny? Will we love God back? Will we live with him forever? Well, it's not certain because the choice is ours. This is why Satan attacks us. He wants us to turn from God. He wants us to develop a wayward trickle. He wants us for his rebellion. The great war has come to our backyard. Fortunately, we have help. If we're on God's side, then his angels are on our side too. The problem is we have such a romantic view of angels. You know, we picture them as chubby little babies in cloth diapers. We give them miniature wings and tiny harps. We imagine them shooting our sweethearts with their sweet little arrows. But that's not at all what the Bible says about angels. No, the Bible says that angels wrestled with Satan and threw him to earth. Angels are ministering spirits sent to those who will inherit salvation. An angel fought with Jacob until morning. Angels tended to Jesus after he was tempted by Satan in the desert. An angel killed the firstborn sons of the Egyptians. Angels proclaimed the announcements of God. An angel struck Herod, who then died. An angel helped Peter escape from prison. An angel guided the Israelites to the promised land. Angels guide and protect us. I don't know how many angels can accomplish their missions if they are in fact the peevish beings we picture them to be. How do they fight when they have to stop and change their diapers? If I'm under attack, I want a warrior, not a baby going wee-wee. If the devil's coming at me, I want a ninja, not an infant nursing his nookie. No, I want a real angel. The good news is there are lots of them, 2/3 of the original heavenly host. Remember that 1/3 was hurled down to the earth, which means 2/3 are still on God's side. It is sometimes easier to focus on the devil rather than on God. We feel the enemy bearing down. But let's not forget that 2/3 are still serving God. This is good because the enemy is bent on our destruction. Although we shouldn't be obsessed with the devil, we shouldn't be ignorant either. He is a prowling lion, cunning, looking for whom to devour. He sometimes masks himself as an angel of light, but he's the father of lies. Nothing good comes from him. So here's some information about his dark army so that you're not ignorant. There appears to be a hierarchy in Satan's kingdom with various types of spiritual beings. There are 3 levels of spiritual warfare: ground level, occult level, and strategic level. Ground level spiritual warfare deals with demons. Demons are the most common enemy found in the New Testament. Other names for them are unclean spirits and evil spirits. Demons can speak, have feelings, and are assigned certain tasks. Demons can have superhuman strength, although they don't have physical bodies of their own. Demons can cause sickness, emotional disturbances, relational troubles, and more. Occult level warfare is different. It's empowered and released through witchcraft. The work of occult level spiritual beings, is more catastrophic than the work of demons. Strategic level spiritual warfare influences geographical territories. That is, territorial powers can hold entire regions in bondage. Satan's army seems ominous. But take heart, our king is a fighter. Jesus was destined for war. After Jesus was born, it was prophesied that he would set the captives free. He would release the oppressed, proclaim the Lord's favor. This is war language. When Jesus was born, the war persisted. Satan tried to snuff out the newborn Messiah. The enemy was on the prowl, but he didn't succeed. At the start of Jesus' ministry, Jesus entered the desert to pray and fast for 40 days. The devil tempted him. But Jesus overcame the attack of the enemy. This set the paradigm for the rest of ministry. It would be war, but Jesus would overcome. And war it was. Throughout his ministry, Jesus often encountered Satan's kingdom. Just skim the book of Matthew and notice how many demons Jesus confronted. When Jesus entered a town, it was a regular occurrence for the people to bring the demon-possessed to him, and he would heal them. Thus, Jesus fulfilled his destiny to set the captives free. But more than that, Jesus released the prisoners for all time through the cross. The Bible says that Satan entered Judas, who was one of Jesus' disciples. Then Jesus was arrested, tortured, and killed, a perfect satanic work. After Jesus died, he descended into hell. Satan thought he had won. But the grave couldn't hold Jesus down. On the 3rd day, he rose from the dead. Colossians says, and having disarmed the powers and authorities, he made a public spectacle of them, triumphing over them by the cross. It was a perfect, holy work. The choice is ours. Will we accept this work or not? This doesn't mean the war is over. There is still evil about.